Now, I invite you to open the door to 100 forgotten everyday things that only our generation truly understands. Streetlights as curfew. Back then, the concepts of smartphones or GPS were still foreign to a child's mind. Our world consisted of long streets, green lawns, and worn-out bicycles. But the moment those streetlights began to glow along the pathways, it was the ultimate command that every child understood. You had to pedal home as fast as you could if you didn't want to face your parents' strictness. The streetlights were the universal clock for the entire neighborhood. Full-service gas stations. Stepping into the 50s and 60s, visiting a gas station was a true service experience. You never had to hold the nozzle yourself or fumble with complex payment steps. As soon as your car pulled in, attendants in neat uniforms would appear with a friendly smile. They would fill your tank for you, carefully check the oil level, and use a clean rag to polish your windshield. Everything moved rhythmically while you sat comfortably inside, feeling the dedicated care that has vanished in today's self-service era. Studio portraits at Olin Mills. The trend of taking studio portraits at Olin Mills in the 80s created an unforgettable craze. The style of photography with a dreamy, blurry effect, where the subjects' faces were layered at different angles, was considered the height of fashion at the time. Looking back today might feel a bit humorous, but at the time these photos were precious assets, carefully kept in family albums. Hiding in the back of the station wagon. From the 60s to the 80s, the station wagon was seen as the symbol of family road trips. The most exciting privilege for us kids was claiming the very back row, where we sat facing backward instead of forward. From that vantage point, the world appeared like a movie reeling backward. We delighted in watching the cars tailing behind us, waving at strangers, or making funny faces through the glass. National Anthem sign-off. There was a time when TV didn't run 24/7 like it does today. Late at night, after the final programs ended, a solemn ritual would take place. The majestic melody of the national anthem would play alongside images of the flag waving before the screen faded into color bars or black and white static with that characteristic humming sound. That moment signaled that the day had closed, creating a stable routine that helped every family member understand it was time to turn off the lights and go to sleep. Thick phone books. Sitting right next to the wall, mounted phone in the hallway or kitchen, were always those heavy directories. We had the white pages to find acquaintances and the yellow pages for every necessary service. Flipping through the thin pages, using a finger to trace down long lists to find a number, became a familiar skill for everyone in the house. It was the only tool that connected us to the outside world when all contact information was stored physically on paper. Writing checks at the grocery store. Do you remember standing in line at the supermarket checkout when debit cards or one-touch payment apps were still a foreign concept? Seeing a neighbor slowly pull out a checkbook, meticulously writing each digit and signing their name, was part of the rhythm of life back then. The cashier would patiently verify their ID and confirm the information. No one acted hurried or annoyed by the wait. Life in those days allowed us silences to chat and observe the people around us. Clotheslines and the scent of sunshine. While convenient, clothes dryers could never replace the wonderful feeling of clotheslines stretched across the backyard. The image of towels and bedsheets fluttering in the wind under the sun was a symbol of peace. When brought inside, the clothes possessed a fresh, dry, and pleasant scent that no artificial fabric softener can replicate. Setting the TV to channel 3. To begin a movie night at home with a VCR, we had to perform a few small technical steps. For the VCR to work, the first mandatory step was switching the old TV to channel 3. After hearing the whirring of the tape motor, the image from a fresh VHS tape would finally appear on the screen. This small action became a natural reflex for an entire generation, creating a spark of excitement before the whole family immersed themselves in a captivating cinematic story. Checking movie times via paper or phone. To find out which blockbuster was hitting theaters, we usually had two traditional methods. The most common was flipping to the entertainment page of the morning newspaper and underlining the right showtime with a pen. The second way was calling the theater and listening to a pre-recorded recording reading the list of the day's screenings. You often had to listen several times to make sure you didn't miss anything. This careful preparation turned every movie trip into a special event, making us cherish every minute sitting in the theater. Of these 10 memories, which one touched your heart the most? Leave a comment so we can reminisce about those beautiful days together. Government surplus cheese. In the memories of many families, giant blocks of orange-yellow American cheese wrapped in cardboard boxes were an indispensable part of meals. These were staples from government assistance programs, ensuring nutrition for every household. Despite its simple appearance, the flavor of this cheese was incredibly distinct and delicious when melted. It is tied to cozy breakfasts and the quiet bond of a community caring for one another during difficult economic times. Vicks, Campbell's, and Canada Dry. Whenever a sneeze or a sniffle appeared, American mothers always had a classic remedy that brought absolute peace of mind. Just a warm layer of Vicks VapoRub on the chest, a hot bowl of Campbell's chicken soup, and sips of Canada Dry ginger ale, and all fatigue seemed to vanish. This gentle care combined with familiar kitchen staples became an invaluable emotional medicine. It reaffirmed that love and simple habits always possess the most miraculous healing power. Little golden books. Our journey of discovering the world often began with these hardbound books with their bright gold foil spines. The Little Golden Books series, with its gentle stories and vivid illustrations, nurtured the souls of countless children. Owning these books and flipping through pages that smelled of fresh ink was a great joy. The characters in the books became our first friends, helping us develop language skills and a love for reading from a very young age. The magic of Polaroid. In an era where developing photos meant waiting for days, the appearance of the Polaroid camera was truly a leap forward. The feeling of holding a photo just ejected from the camera, shaking it slightly in the air and breathlessly watching the lines and colors gradually sharpen before your eyes brought an indescribable thrill. Every Polaroid was a unique moment, unable to be copied or edited, perfectly preserving the authentic emotions of that second. Hardshell suitcases. Long trips or moving into college dorms were often associated with the image of sturdy hardshell suitcases. They featured metal latches that made a sharp, clean clicking sound and luxurious silk linings inside. These suitcases were built to endure every bump and last through time, unlike the flimsy plastic luggage of today. Collecting store stamps. A lesson in patience that both children and adults loved was collecting reward stamps from grocery stores like S&H Green Stamps. Licking those tiny stamps and pasting them neatly into booklets was a task that required meticulousness. Once enough booklets were accumulated, the whole family would go to the redemption center to bring home new household items. Long-distance calls after 7 p.m. Back then, calling relatives in another state was an event that required careful planning due to the high costs. The golden rule for every home was to wait until after 7 p.m. when the rates began to drop sharply. The whole family would often gather around the wall-mounted phone to take turns hearing the voices of loved ones. This wait made every conversation deeper and more precious. Snow day. Anticipation. Every time winter arrived and snow blanketed the roads, kids would experience the most suspenseful moments in front of the TV. Instead of receiving notifications via an app, we had to wake up early, eyes glued to the slow-scrolling text at the bottom of the local news channel. The feeling of holding your breath waiting for your school's name to appear on the closing list is truly unforgettable. When that text finally appeared, a burst of joy exploded, signaling a day of freedom to play in the white snow. Typing class in high school. In the 60s and 70s, typing classes were an essential part of the high school curriculum. Training your fingers to glide skillfully across a mechanical keyboard to produce neat lines of text was an incredibly valuable skill. The continuous clacking of dozens of typewriters in the classroom created a signature rhythm of effort. Mastering this skill was seen as serious preparation for entering the workforce, affirming the maturity and discipline of every student. Handwritten report cards. At the end of every semester, we received report cards that carried the dedication of our teachers. Every grade and detailed comment was carefully handwritten, showing individual attention to each student. Those blue or black ink strokes carried a genuine evaluation of our progress. Holding the card in your hand, you could feel the value of hard work and the close bond between school and family, something today's digital systems struggle to. Defrosting the freezer. Maintaining a refrigerator back then was much harder than it is now, especially the periodic defrosting of the freezer. When the ice inside got too thick, the whole family had to join forces using everything from ice picks to hair dryers to melt the stubborn frost. This process usually involved many towels and a lot of patience to clean up the flowing water. Though tiring, the feeling when the fridge became clean and tidy always brought significant satisfaction, affirming the homemaker's diligence. Movie projectors in class? The Sears Wish Book. Before the holiday season officially began, the greatest anticipation for every child was the arrival of the thick Sears Wish Book. We could spend hours flipping through pages smelling of fresh ink, mesmerized by the vibrant toys and modern electronics. Children back then would circle their dream gifts with a pen until the pages were worn. That catalog held sweet dreams, making the wait for Christmas Eve more suspenseful and colorful than ever. Learning cursive. Standing before the blackboard and concentrating on controlling a piece of chalk to create swirling lines was a memorable challenge for elementary students. Learning cursive was seen as a rite of passage requiring patience, meticulousness, and a steady hand. The soft flowing lines were an expression of refinement and character building. Though difficult at times, the feeling of completing a beautiful handwritten page always brought great pride. 8-track tapes and cars. Before cassettes and CDs became popular, the 8-track tape was the pinnacle of entertainment on road trips. These large tapes allowed you to choose your own playlist instead of relying entirely on local radio waves. It was a major step forward that allowed us to personalize our musical experience, turning every long drive into a vibrant party of melodies. Drive-through photo booths. The golden age of film was tied to small, independent booths sitting right in the middle of shopping center parking lots. These convenient photo counters, often named Photomat, promised to complete developing and printing in just one night. Dropping off precious rolls of film and then excitedly returning the next day to receive envelopes full of photos was a delightful routine. It brought significant convenience in an era where technical processes were still evolving. Rewinding cassettes with a pencil. The 80s witnessed a common mishap for music lovers: cassette tapes getting tangled and spilling out of their plastic shells. In those moments, a hexagonal pencil was the most universal repair kit. By skillfully inserting the tip into the tape's gears and spinning it steadily, the tape would gradually be retracted back into place. This small skill saved countless favorite albums. Free road maps at gas stations. Before GPS navigation technology was born, every long trip required the support of giant paper maps. You could easily find them for free at gas stations along the way, or always keep a thick atlas in the car. Learning how to read a map and determine a route through every intersection was an experience full of discovery. Pizza Hut and Book It. Visiting Pizza Hut in those years was a true cultural experience, with vibrant stained glass lamps and red and white checkered tablecloths. For children, the biggest motivation was the Book It program. When you met the reading goal set by your teacher, you were rewarded with a free personal pan pizza and a special star pin. This reward brought a sense of pride and academic achievement, turning reading into an exciting journey. Tupperware parties. A unique cultural phenomenon for housewives of that time was the Tupperware party. This wasn't just about shopping for high-quality food containers. It was an occasion for neighbors to gather, socialize, and share homemaking tips. These meetings created a tight community network right in the living room of each home. It reflected a connected lifestyle and a deep appreciation for family values in a warm society. Wax candy and candy cigarettes. The candy world of our childhood featured very interesting items that made us feel like adults. Tiny wax bottles filled with sweet fruit juice or candy sticks shaped like cigarettes were favorite treats. Nibbling on these candies felt incredibly stylish and cool in the eyes of friends. Though simple snacks, they created happy memories of an innocent time. Sunday rituals. Sunday was always a special time for everyone to turn toward family and core values. The morning usually began with reading the thick newspapers with Dad, followed by the whole family dressing in their best clothes for church. After the service, a warm meal at the grandparents' house with traditional dishes was a must. These habits repeated weekly, building stability and a sense of peace in the soul, helping us recharge for a new work week. Do you still keep any habits from those traditional Sundays? Share your family's story with us. Recording mixtapes. Owning a playlist exactly to your liking required patience and quick hands. We often had to sit for hours by the cassette player listening to the radio for a favorite song to play. As soon as the melody started, you had to press play and record simultaneously and perfectly to capture it. These homemade mixtapes were filled with heart, and often became meaningful gifts for friends, expressing the maker's musical taste and sincere feelings. Silhouette portraits. In the interior decor of many families, black paper silhouette portraits on a white background always held a place of honor. These handcrafted artworks captured the delicate profile of each member, usually framed in simple wood and hung along hallways or in the living room. This was an aesthetically pleasing and artistic way to preserve personal images back then. Each portrait is a slice of time, affirming the presence and tight bond of everyone in the beloved home. Plastic sofa covers at Grandma's. A familiar sight in Grandma's house was the sofa set carefully protected by a layer of shiny plastic. This cover served to keep the furniture new, but it brought very specific experiences. On hot summer days, your skin would easily stick to the plastic, and in the winter, it made distinctive crackling sounds every time you moved. Though sometimes inconvenient, it still showed the care and thriftiness of the previous generation toward family property. Calling the radio station for requests. Chatting directly with DJS on the radio was an exhilarating experience for teenagers back then. You had to persistently pick up the phone and call dozens of times, facing constant busy signals until you were lucky enough to connect. The moment you requested your favorite song and heard your name announced over the airwaves brought immense excitement. Tinfoil on rabbit ear antennas. To get the clearest TV picture, we often conducted technical experiments with rabbit ear antennas. Rotating the antenna in every direction or adding a few pieces of tin foil to the tips to boost reception was a frequent occurrence. Sometimes a family member had to stand perfectly still in one spot to keep the image from flickering. These small efforts made enjoying a favorite show more precious. RC Cola and a moon pie. In the American South, the combination of RC Cola and a moon pie became an icon of working-class food culture. At a very low cost, this combo was once considered the standard, energy-filled lunch for laborers and students alike. The sweet flavor of the marshmallow snack mingled with the refreshing fizz of the soda is tied to precious moments of rest. Roadside picnics. Before fast food chains and modern rest stops popped up everywhere, long trips always came with spontaneous picnics. Families would pick a nice patch of grass by the roadside and pull over. Then, they'd bring out the cooler and folding chairs to share a meal together. These outdoor meals brought a sense of freedom and helped everyone feel closer to nature. Seasonal Dairy Queen openings. For many of us, the reopening of the Dairy Queen was a major milestone in the year. After the long, quiet winter months, the sight of these stores serving cold ice cream was the official signal that summer had truly arrived. People eagerly lined up to enjoy their favorite flavor, creating a bustling and fresh atmosphere for the whole neighborhood. It was the sign of the start of long days filled with sun, wind, and endless joy. Movie projectors in class. In the memories of students, there was no better sight than seeing the teacher wheel the projector cart into the classroom. When the lights went out and the projector started whirring, we knew an interesting and relaxing hour was ahead. Documentaries or educational stories became more vivid than ever on the big screen. These were always the most anticipated moments of the school week, making learning feel much lighter. Charles Chips Tins. There was a very special door-to-door delivery service that many still remember fondly, Charles Chips. Signature tan and gold tins filled with crispy potato chips or fragrant cookies would be delivered periodically to your home. Owning a tin of Charles Chips in the kitchen was considered a gentle luxury and a great joy for kids. After finishing the snacks, mothers would often keep those tins to reuse for various storage purposes. Memorizing phone numbers. Before phone memory completely replaced human memory, we often possessed a living directory right in our heads. Memorizing the phone numbers of family, best friends, or neighbors was perfectly natural and necessary. If you couldn't remember them all, a neatly handwritten list taped to the refrigerator door would always be a timely lifesaver. This ability helped us maintain a close connection with those around us, without needing a device. Physical dictionaries. In an age before automatic spell checkers, a paper dictionary was an essential item on every student's desk. Whenever we encountered a new word or wanted to check the correct spelling, we meticulously flipped through the thin pages to find the information. Owning a thick dictionary affirmed a spirit of learning and respect for language. It provided knowledge and helped us practice patience in the process of discovery and vocabulary expansion. Vent windows. Cars from the 60s and 70s possessed a very clever design feature: small triangular windows at the front. In a time before air conditioning was standard on every model, these vent windows played a crucial role. By adjusting the angle, you could direct a stream of cool air from the outside straight into the car while moving. This simple technical solution brought maximum comfort to the user. Wheat pennies and buffalo nickels. A refined hobby that many often inherited from grandparents was collecting old coins with unique shapes. Wheat pennies, or buffalo nickels, with their wear and tear from time, always held a strange allure for nostalgia lovers. We could spend hours admiring the intricate carvings and learning the story behind each coin. These small collections held great cultural value. Cloth wall calendars. Decorating the kitchen in the 70s almost always included colorful cloth wall calendars. These calendars were hung from a small wooden rod at the top and printed with rustic, cozy patterns that fit the interior style of the time. As each month passed, the calendar remained there as a durable and very familiar decoration for every family member. Calling for the time and temperature. A familiar local number, you would hear a pre-recorded voice providing the exact time and current temperature. This was the fastest way to check the clocks in the house or prepare the right outfit before heading out. This simple convenience was once an integral part of daily life, helping people organize their plans effectively. Yelling "car" in the street. The streets back then were the ultimate playground for neighborhood kids, filled with vibrant games of football or kickball. However, whenever a car approached, a safety rule was instantly and naturally activated. The shout of "car" would echo through the neighborhood, and all the kids would quickly scatter to the sides of the road to make way for the driver. As soon as the car passed, the game resumed with as much excitement as if there had been no interruption at all. Did you and your friends participate in any of these activities back then? Lyric sheets and cassette cases. Every time you bought a new album, the most exciting part was opening the cassette case and pulling out the liner notes. These folded sheets were often printed with the full lyrics to all the songs, sometimes along with exclusive photos and artist info. Listening to the music while carefully reading along to sing the right words was a deep entertainment experience. It helped us better understand the meaning of the music we admired and loved. The Three Stooges. The laughter of American children in previous decades was often tied to the classic comedy routines of the Three Stooges. Although they were just reruns on TV, their clumsy situations and signature physical comedy always held a magnetic pull for all ages. These characters became comedy icons, bringing precious moments of relaxation after stressful school hours. Colored toilet paper. There was a time when even bathroom items were designed with a very specific aesthetic. Toilet paper was often produced in soft pastel colors like pink, blue, or green to perfectly match the wall tiles of the room. This coordination showed the meticulousness in designing living spaces of the past, bringing a harmonious beauty to the home. Reusing tins. In old American households, almost no object was thrown away wastefully if it still had value. Tins that once held bandages or cocoa powder were always carefully cleaned by housewives. They became ideal containers for small odds and ends like buttons, screws, or loose toy pieces. This reuse affirmed the virtues of thriftiness and order. Turning simple items into effective costs became a common and calculated habit of life. This weight inadvertently created a special time for connection, where everyone cherished every single conversation. Or the world got... As we walk through each piece of the past, we realize that the America of yesterday may have been simple in technology, but it was incredibly rich in emotion. Don't let these memories sleep in old boxes or dusty albums. Share your story in the comments, hit like if you remember, and subscribe to support us. Thank you for accompanying us on this journey back.